Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benscop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air.
All right off the bat, let's get down to business. Share the link, please. Share the link and let folks know that we're on. My name is Mark Benscop. It's Thursday, the 25th day of April. Time is flying. Tag some of those guys in Brooklyn. Tag some of those sellouts in Brooklyn. We know who they are. They have a lot of mouth, right? But this is not about them. Some of them are dance promoters, right? All right. Okay. That's all I wish to say at this time. But hear what? The reason why you got to tag some of these guys, especially those who disrespected the Guyanese community in Brooklyn, tag them. Let them see this here. Tag my friend Doris Rodney at the Hills. Let her see this, what's happening. Tag my pastor friend James Richmond. Tag Barker. Tag them. Tag Claire and all of them. Tag them now, please. Forget about the jump in the hills and put on a thing and Facebook Live and don't tag them. Tag those other set of people. Let them see what the corrupt PPP regime, the racist PPP regime is doing to persons of African descent. Right now it's happening. Let's go over and join Shara Duncan. Tag them in the meanwhile, guys. Tag them. Let them see.
So if this Civil Defense Board was so vigilant, how come we're seeing what we're seeing here? If this project is not related to the Qatari hotel, is it incidental? Just a few weeks after that contract was signed, we see the vendors here being moved. Is that the case? It's just incidental to that? I hope the heavy wind here don't distort our song too much. As I said, folks, a number of vehicles out here. A number of men out here, no doubt carrying on this work. And stalls are being dismantled. That's what's happening here. Now, we are not trying to get in the way of that because you ain't gonna turn this around and say, as they're trying to say, APNU, AFC, and all that nonsense. Because once you want to bring truth and light to the darkness that is enveloping this country, use opposition. That's what we're hearing. Now, I'm going to see how far down I can walk. To just give you a sense of what's going to happen here. A number of structures are going to be moved. This direction here, they have a lot of those businesses. I'm going to take a little walk up further from where we are.
And so this is a live coverage there, compliments of Sherrod Duncan. This is what's happening right now in Guyana. They're breaking down all of those business places at the Seawall, from Camp Street to Visinjan Road. You know, and then when we speak out, you hear that we are bad people. Don't worry, those. It's not like it's like throwing water in ducks' back. And then they get some little minions who don't understand what is being happening or what is happening to them. Sorry, then they are paid either a box of fried rice, potato chips, or whatever to curse us out. We become, for those little minions, we become the bad ones, and so they can jump in at the hills and put on their live and cuss us. It doesn't really matter. It's like, nah. Oh, money got Mac, money got Mac. Look what's happening in Guyana. Look at that. 99% of those businesses, you know who own them, right? But if we were to say Guyanese of African descent, you're going to hear Ben Chap is a racist, Apostle London is a racist, Nigel Hughes is a racist, Lincoln Lewis is a racist, Ogunsi is a racist, Kadaki is a racist. Notice the pattern with these people in the corrupt PPP regime. Now, before we get back there, you guys are seeing this is a live footage right now. And this is what they do. They target persons of African descent. They target them, destroy their businesses. That is what they do. Now, listen to Edgil last night. It was just yesterday. I want you guys to listen to Edgil. Listen to him, please. It means that this guy, Edgil, has no power in the PPP regime, none whatsoever. Only last night, how many of you, I'm going to watch your comments here. Good night to you, Wayne Caesar. Sorry, my friend. I know you're busy at work, and I was busy today on Church Avenue doing Uber. Uber on Church Avenue, or right up, further up Church Avenue, playing dominoes and drinking, right? We'll get to that. But Wayne Caesar, good night to you, my friend. Tomorrow's a busy day, right, Wayne? Good. Now, let me say this to you guys. Only last night, this is what Edgil said to me, to Masina Ben. Good night to you, ma'am. Morna, Grand Morna, and Jesse, and Torrington, and Clyde McPherson, Baird, every one of you, good night. Carl Miller, and so forth. Listen to this, guys. Listen to this. Right now, this is happening there at the Seawall. They're breaking down these people's businesses. 95 or 99, I don't know the amount, but almost all of them are persons of African descent. I'm sure they have other ethnicities there too, but the majority of people. This is a regime that say they love you guys. They're going to go into Brooklyn. They're going to pick up a barber, like Irfanali, do like he cutting hair, go in your kitchen, clap little roti, all manner of things. It is for the camera, guys. It is for the camera. Do you think they love those guys in Brooklyn? They do not. They're going to whisper to them that you come back home, you're going to get something. But when you go back home, you ain't getting nothing to get. Some of them might rush there to whisper to Kush, hey, Kush, man, help me out, man. You know, that is what's going on. And so when you confront these guys, oh, I got thing about me. We know who some of those promoters are in Brooklyn. I'm reminding you guys. Good. I'm not getting there just yet. But let's go to Edgil. This is what Edgil said yesterday, guys.
My flight was delayed due to bad weather. So the inconvenience of having you come to my attention because I was unnecessarily. I've asked to meet with you. I've noticed that I'm meeting with more than vendors who like to trade here. But that's not a problem. Let me say just a few things so everybody could be at ease. Every person who have received permission from Sea and River Defense Board to vend on the PTC will continue.
All right, you guys heard that, right? Every vendor, and this was just when again? Let me see you guys here. Come on. When you think this happened? When you guys think that happened? When? It wasn't last year. It wasn't last month or anything. It was last night, last evening. That is exactly what happened, guys. I want those couple of folks out in Brooklyn who feel that this corrupt regime, this racist regime, like them because they clap a roti in your kitchen means they like you. No, all they were concerned about was the photograph. Clapping a roti, hey, Kush, who apparently went up there as Irfan Ali's security. Now, that's another issue we'll talk about. Security, right? Good. So he clap a roti and that should give Kush, hey, Kush, take piece there, by. You know, like you're on, like it reminds me on the quarantine, you're feeding dog, hey, come, puppy, puppy, and you throw a piece. Hey, Kush, take this. Boom. But look what's happening. Let's get back to Duncan so that you guys can hear what's happening on the ground right now.
That's the devil. This is as far as I'll push in this direction. This business is Chef It Up Catering. That's the name of that notice board there. Chef It Up Catering. And this is a container that has expanded into this business here. Chef It Up Catering. I'm heading back down to Camp Street. That vendor asked the Minister of Public Works. Remember, she was a vendor in the area of the bandstand. That vendor asked the Minister of Public Works, right? Or made a statement, asked a question. She said, I was one of those vendors who was asked to go beyond Camp Street when that new area, food court, kiosks, whatever you want to call it, was being constructed. When that was happening, she said, I was one of those vendors and I complied. She said the First Lady and company told them that when those booths, the kiosks, the food court there, when they were finished constructing, they were going to have first preferences. She said, Minister, none of us got any of those kiosks. Everybody who got one is new to vending on the Seawall. That is what she said. Everyone who is vending there now is new to vending on the Seawall. But before she could even finish, to know whether that was a statement or a question was going to follow, the minister hurriedly said, that's a different issue.
All right, good. That's Shara Duncan live on the ground there. It is what is happening right there in Georgetown. That's between Camp and Vicingen Road. Please let those folks know what is happening. I hope Doris and others, they have this big screen right there at the Hills restaurant. Let them see that the people that they embrace and the people that they think like them don't like them. Some of the promoters in Brooklyn who like the boat rides and all these things think that Kush or Irfan and those guys like them. No, you guys gotta wake up. You know what Edgil said last night, right? Let's go back to Edgil and tag those guys in Brooklyn. Tag them. Hurry up, tag them, guys. This is what Edgil said last evening. Last evening, this is what Bishop Edgil said to the vendors. And if they can lie to the vendors like this, why you guys, and some of you guys in Brooklyn, think that Clap Roti and Edgil and these others in the PPP wouldn't lie to you? Jack Dare sits at his press conference, if you want to call it that, every single Thursday and lie to you guys about everything. Pretend as though they care about you, and they don't. Let's go back to Edgil and listen to what he had to say yesterday. And he's supposed to be a bishop, you know. Bishop, he has a church. All you listen. All you listen.
My flight was delayed due to bad weather. So the inconvenience of having you come to 2 o'clock was very intentional, but I was unnecessarily. I've asked to meet with you. I've noticed that I'm meeting with more than vendors who like your trade here. But that's not a problem. Let me say just a few things so everybody could be at ease. Every person who have received permission from the Sea and River Defense Board to vend on the PTC will continue to vend. Any misinformation that the government was removing vendors is a clear mischief making. What we are doing is to ensure that everybody who got a license, your license told you, or your letter of permit told you the conditions under which you must vend. And those conditions must be obeyed. What are those conditions? No permanent structures. Number 2, your vending space should be no more than 100 square feet. Number 3, you should be 15 feet away from the edge of the road. Number 4, you're supposed to clean up after every vending. And number 5, whatever you put up must be aesthetically sound, that lends to beauty and what we're doing as a country. Now, what we have happening are 2 things. People have gone to areas that were not designated.
All right, so that's it. It's a waste of time. That's the guy who calls himself a bishop. Let's go back to Sheriff Duncan, please.
You know, I kind of use Sabbath News because Sabbath News are a little middle of the road in terms of the journalism. Right? They're independent. Let me say that. As I sign up, they're independent. And Sabbath News called it, trying to look presentable and social media worthy. Sabbath News called it. Sabbath News said in an editorial a few short weeks ago that no hotel of any international standard, is going to want vendors on the periphery of the 5-star hotel. No hotel of international standard is going to want vendors on the periphery of their establishment. So Sabbath News called it very, very early. And I want to add, as I sign off, the special broadcast of In the Ring from the Seawall here, just off Camp Street. What Timothy Jonas from Anuk said. When people can't ply the trades here, earn a living from the work that they really want to do, entrepreneurs, small business owners, Guyanese are only going to be fit to clean the toilets and the bedrooms in the Qatari hotel. You know, maybe Mayor Motley, who we don't like, was a prophet when she was here 2 oil conferences ago, who said Guyanese are going to be tenants in their own country. And that is what's going to happen when you can dictate the kind of work you want to do. And again, I want to underscore, because I'm cognizant that members of this government watching us now are going to say, oh, I don't like law and order. The opposition don't like law and order. No. Things should happen in a democratic society, a law-abiding society. Things should go a certain way. No qualms with that. But see, defense board must be held responsible for allowing people to come and build structures under their noses. Nobody saw that. 3.5 years, 4 years into government, no minister didn't see that. But now you want to facilitate the sellout of Guyana with the Qatari hotel. You want to raise that as an issue.
All right, guys. Shara Duncan there live. That's where he did in the ring tonight, and so we were able to bring you a little bit of that, right here on 107.1 FM. Guess who is with us tonight? Is no other than the Apostle London. Well, of course, Elikian. He's going to, because he's a school teacher. 1 second, guys. I had to practice the correct pronunciation of his name. Apostle, good night and welcome to Straight Up. How are you, sir?
Greetings and greetings to all of you who are here. I'm doing very well, thanks, and I'm certainly grateful for your having me share this platform with you at such a critical time in our nation's history.
Thank you so much indeed. Let's begin with what's happening there as we speak at the Seawall between Camp and Vicinjon Road. Last evening, a guy who calls himself a bishop, a man of God, said to the people, don't worry with rumors. They're being mischievous. You guys can continue to ply your trade right here at the Seawall. And then we heard, hey! Lo and behold, guess what happened today? Trucks upon trucks to break those people's structures down. Are you surprised at all, Apostle?
By no means am I surprised, because the spirit of the PPP Civic is deception and derailing people from following the path of truth and justice. I think that Guyanese should be, of course, duly informed that with your cry about the what I consider to be fraudulent activity against us, whereby Qatari Hotel has 10, I think it's years, where they have a tax haven, tax-free, do whatever you want. We face the burden. With that call would come also other issues, which would, I think Sheridan, I'm going to speak to that sometime today. Because people, we are creating an elite, not we are, the PP is trying to create an elitist environment. I've been asking Guyanese to consider carefully the truth that you're going to be made second-class citizen in your country. The average Guyanese cannot live in certain areas anymore in this country. And that's not doing of APNFC, by the way. They cannot. So now you have, of course, you know what happens on the Seawall, the hang spot and so on. There are people who say, listen, we don't have certain elements around here. You have to go. You see Mokarcadia? It's just a matter of time before we see what becomes of Mokarcadia. And when they run the people away, who will show up there and what they're going to do. Because to create an elitist environment, you have to remove certain people from those environments. And that's what's going to happen. So I'm not surprised at their behavior. What I'm also not surprised about is the fact that people would seek to believe that they can stay wherever they want to stay with this group. These people are reckless. They are highly destructive in their conduct. And they do not care about anybody apart from their personal agendas. That's how they function. So those persons who would have been out there for years and have really beautified the environment and are doing so well, creating a culture in itself at the Seawalls, they would now be put on the back burner because, remember, and I don't know if you're going to touch on this, but they say you shouldn't be calling for boycotts and some certain businesses. So what happens to those people out there? This is a state boycott where they're going to now destroy people's livelihood. These people have families. They have bills to pay. Maybe they have mortgage to pay. What about their business on the Seawalls? Are they not worthy of being respected and honored and given a chance to live too?
And that's $1 million. Well, it's not $1 million question. It's pretty obvious that the current regime doesn't care about these people at all. We saw recently that they announced that they wanted to remove these individuals. And this is what Edgel said, Apostle, last night. Let me go back to what Edgel said.
Apologies to be here.
Okay.
My flight was delayed due to bad weather. So the inconvenience of having you come to my attention, but I was unnecessarily. I've asked to meet with you. I've noticed that I'm meeting with more than vendors who apply their trade here. But that's not a problem. Let me say just a few things so everybody could be at ease. Every person who have received permission from the Sea and River Defense Board to vend on the PTC will continue to that the government was removing vendors is a clear mischief making. What we are doing,
You heard, was a clear mischief making. The people were clapping. They believed Edgell. They believed Bishop Edgell, who painted this picture to those vendors that no, the government loves you guys. Somebody is creating mischief. It is false. It is not true at all. You can vend. And less than 24 hours after, talk to us, please, Apostle.
How can anyone trust a human being who would do something of this nature in reference to their livelihood? This is to find words to describe the nature of Edgell at this time may land me in some trouble, which I really don't mind being in, but I respect your broadcast and your platform highly. But we as Guyanese must come to understand the role that certain titles ought to play in your society. Now, take a look at this. Edgell is supposed to be called this man of God. He's called the bishop for the PPP. They address him as Bishop Edgell. Can you imagine a man who's supposed to represent the truth coming to you to say, listen, we're not going to destroy anything, and this is just a ploy on the part of the opposition. They just wanted to mischief us in reference to what they're doing, so we're not doing that. And then the following day, after giving you confidence that you would have represented the truth, the following day, it turns out to be that what he said is an absolute lie, mendacious to say the least. What would that do, therefore, to the average person's mentality regarding this title bishop? You see, this thing is far-reaching in reference to what these people are doing. Edgell has lost all credibility a very long time ago, but this made it even worse because he is here to represent what is classified as the truth from his perspective, and he cannot even speak it. So those who may be out there and deeming themselves to be Christian, saying, well, the man of God came to defend us, look at what the man of God did. Look at the works of the man of God. No, I would not be surprised if somebody else pops up to say, well, okay, then as an imam or as a pundit, whatever else it is, I'm here to bring some semblance of peace. Hence, Edgell again goes in the gutter for what he's really worth. We have to look at this from a very broad perspective. There are a certain group of people in this country who have no right in Guyana any longer. And the sooner Guyanese recognize that, the better off we're going to be. And these people called the PPP, this cabal, will go to any extent to dehumanize and to destroy the life of anyone they perceive to be in the path of either their progress or one who they favor highly. And this requires a very intense conversation and quite deep musings. Think deeply, Guyanese people. Why would Edgell be chosen to say this is just a ploy? We will not do anything like that to you. And the next day, this becomes our reality.
I think I have an idea what happened there. After Edgell, somebody said move. Could be somebody at State House. It could be Irfan Ali's wife. Said move. Edgell didn't like that. Edgell called a press conference. We've lost not the bishop. We've lost the apostle. He will be back. Thank you. So Edgell now went last evening or yesterday to say, no, don't move. Whoever said that is being mischievous. Less than 24 hours after, there's a power struggle right now in the PPP.
Very much so.
Obviously, those folks who look like Edgell, African Guyanese within the PPP, have absolutely no They have no respect for them. So therefore, what happened now, Irfan Ali possibly could be Jack Dio, this power struggle in the PPP said, no, you go back. We're going to send those trucks to remove those people with immediate effect. Now, here's my question, Apostle. If these guys, Mark Phillips and Edgil and Hamilton and Onage and all of them are African descent in the PPP, they don't have, Jack Dio and Irfan have no respect for those folks in the PPP. You think they're going to have respect for those people that clap roti with in Brooklyn? You think they're going to have respect for that young man that was getting his hair show off like if they're cutting it? You think they're going to have respect for those who were in the hills and so forth? No. But let's hear from you. Before we hear from you, Apostle, one quick second. Thank you. Colin Bino, good night to you, sir, says here, they believe his empty message that someone said, we're going to vote for you. Now look at what's happening tonight. Look at what is happening. Who? Anyways, Apostle, go right ahead, sir.
What well put, Colin, and I must say that you've touched on something so significant regarding those names of who are called African descendants, black people in the PPP. Mark Phillips, Hugh Todd, Joe Hamilton, Onage, and Edgil. Now, I recall Ali painting, and many times they refer to you as racist because you speak against the PPP. And it's important, again, for us to bring this to the fore and have it ventilated on these platforms so Guyanese can really understand what's happening here. Now, if you have Todd, Edgil, Robeson, Ben, and these people, black people, Africans, I don't like calling people black, but it is what it is, according to what we say. Now, if you, Mr. Benchop, speak against the PPP and they say, listen, you racist, what it says, therefore, is that the PPP does not even consider black people to be part of them, period. Because if you're racist speaking against the PPP, it means the PPP doesn't have black people in it. And I want Edgil, Mark Phillips, and all y'all to tell me very clearly tonight, you are seen as not even being a human being to these people. You're just an agent of some sort or a tool in their hand to represent certain things. So whenever the need arises and they say, listen, whoever is speaking against the PPP, you're racist. It means that anybody in the PPP who looks like me and you don't even exist in their eyes. So when Ali goes to New York, would have gone to New York, wherever he went, and tries to bump into a few African descendants, they must be reminded that whenever someone speaks against the PPP, we are called racist, which means the only way I can be racist is if I have some feeling of superiority towards another race, thinking they're unworthy of being what they are. This is far-reaching. This is deep-rooted. And I am certainly well aware that those who sit in these seats like Phillips and those, they know what I'm telling you. And they know exactly what you were saying, that these people do not care about African descendants. They don't care. So when they go to New York and Ali goes in the kitchen and shows he wants a clap roti and stuff like that, why he's doing that? Because at the UN, they heard very clearly that these PPP, this cabal is among the most racist ever. They've heard about that. And because the evidence, the UN told them, we don't just come to you and talk without evidence. And we don't just go opening our mouth to you without certain things being on the table. So now they're in trouble. So Ali is going on a campaign to show the world that he's not racist. And it's unfortunate for any Guyanese, whether you are in the diaspora or you're here, to see yourself as being worthy of being used by a racist clan who is already on the UN's watch for being racist, discriminatory, and who are seeking to destroy economically a group of people. And for you to be used as a pawn just to gain some business is unfortunate. It is quite unlike what I expect from anyone who understands the history. Our foreparents did not bleed and die for their offspring to be harlots, or what I call economic harlots. You can do better than this. And you should not allow yourself to be trapped by this nonsense. We must be a people who can arise and be extremely strong when it comes to addressing the facts and the truth. Wherever you are in this world, at this time, if you're an African descendant, pay attention as to when Irfan Ali, Bara Jagdeo, and anybody else would have to go out there to show that they like you. Pay attention to when. when the PPP civic administration is under the United Nations Human Rights Commission's radar for being charged with being very, very discriminatory against African descendants. That's why Ali has to go now to show that he likes African people. Well, if you like African people, why are you saying that whoever speaks against the PPP is racist? It means you even think it exists in the PPP.
And Irfan, thank you so much, Apostle, and good night to those of you who are now joining us. Let the people in Brooklyn hear what's happening here now. Those who embrace and clap roti and so forth.
Right.
Let them watch and tag Doris. Let them watch. Now, let me say this here now that Apostle, and I agree with everything that you've said. For this PPP regime, they feel that people like us can criticize them, and if we criticize them, suddenly we are racist. People who embrace them mean they're good people, and we are the bad ones. But let's take a look at what somebody who is misguided. Someone sent me this screenshot of an individual named Kizzy Main. And I hope she's watching tonight to see that the PPP doesn't like her. And maybe we can understand why, but the PPP, this is what she's saying. People need to boycott their shows and platforms where they seek all the negative attention. So for this person there, this is what we seek, negative attention. She says, because they have personal grievances with the Guyana government, everyone needs to share their ignorance. God in heaven knows what she's saying there. Mark needs another 20 years in solitary confinement for standing up and speaking the truth and defending folks like her as well. She is saying, because she's a PPP stooge, she's saying Mark needs another 20 years in solitary confinement. But let's move on before I hand the mic back to you. Let's go to Brooklyn and see how they treated a racist in Brooklyn. Check this out, please.
Take responsibility. We want you to look out for us. We do not want no segregation. No. We are one people. And if we're going to do it, let's do it together. Because we have respect for you. Thank you.
All right, President.
All right, let's remove that. What's up, Apostle? The same clap from the clap roti to clap hand and clap hand yesterday, and today, guess what? Everything is being broken down right now as we speak. Let's hear from you, Apostle.
Well, I must speak to first of all to this matter of I hope it's a true or not a fake account, because I can't see any woman who's supposed to be.
It is a true account. Sorry, but go ahead.
It's a genuine account, and that person has an authentic Facebook account or social media account, and Kizzy would have the nerve as a female who should possess a womb to say that you should be in solitary confinement for another 20 years. It speaks volumes to what those who support the PPP are all about. And maybe Pam and Steve can pay attention to these kind of comments to see exactly what you're speaking to and why you're saying what you're saying. Because for one, it wasn't under the PNC that you were in solitary confinement, that you were wrongfully accused and unduly imprisoned in a most inhumane manner. It was under the PPP. So for her to say that you should be taken back there into that environment speaks volumes, and more so. Kizzy apparently has the right to call for boycotting of your platform and other platforms, but you don't have the same human right. And that is my issue, where it seems as though only one set of people have the right to call for boycotts and others don't have the right to do so. And it's unfortunate, but we have to address this as often as we can. What gives her the right to be as unconscionable, and as far as I'm concerned, to some extent greatly delusional and more so highly stupid, to even try to suggest that what you suffered for 5 years is just nothing? Look at what you've been through. Trumped up charges. Look at what you've suffered. Even reference to your family, she's saying that because you calling for the boycott of a business. you should go in jail for another 20 years. This
Well,
is insane.
Yeah, some of them don't understand what they're doing, and they just do it for little crumbs. Just yesterday, one of them pretend as though he's threatening, and I take that as a threat, still do, which ought to be under investigation. And then went now and placed on his Facebook page. Take a look. I mean, the attacks, it's like water and duck's back. And listen to the English. You're a teacher. I living this in community over 24 years. I never one day see you, Uncle Mark, Anthony Bensham. I ready for anything action you want to bring to me, right? And attacking me for standing up for what is right for a community. I don't know, but apart from that, this is what this guy did right after last night's program. Mark Phillips, what happened to your boycott buy? Like his English, you're a teacher, so he's no different from that guy said that he lived in Church Avenue for over 23 years and never saw me. By like every you put you hand on does fail terribly, like you got bathed in blue water. This is a man who sits there as the prime minister of the country. Right after my program last night, this is what he did. This is what he did to me. This is a form of harassment. It is a form of subtle threat. It didn't stop there. And so I asked him, Apostle, and all of our listeners, what happened to the US $25 million the GDF allegedly paid to Larry Singh for arms and ammunition never received while you were chief of staff? And now me to him now again, like you got bathed in taxpayers' water. So guess what, Apostle? His bumps raised. He messaged me again this afternoon. Man, you can't take little criticism. Your skin really thin, man. Go there. That's the prime minister, quote unquote, the man who sits there as the prime minister of the country. Let's get your take, please, sir.
How can anyone who is the first vice president, paid to be the prime minister, stoop to this level of juvenile idiocy? Phillips represents African people, whether we like it or not. He's the highest ranked African Guyanese official in the PPP. And look at what they have him doing. Because the nature of this group, again, is not to represent propriety. The PPP is known for being the most thuggish of all groups in this country. They are known for it. And for you to be a part of that, you have to represent the behavior of a hardcore, what we call thug, what they may call dunce thug. Because I cannot see how you can have one who sits in such an august seat, a robust, major, significant seat. He is the highest ranked official in the House of Assembly. And to see that Mark Phillips would have the time, well, I couldn't understand why he has the time, to engage you, a citizen of this country, a civilian, with such, I mean, you have never seen this. So it begs my question yet again now, Mr. Benchop. Can Jagdio or Irfan Ali, Mark Phillips, or anyone of y'all in the PPP, maybe Pam and Steve, or anybody else, name one or two statesmen that Jagdio, Donna Ramatar, Irfan Ali, Janet Jagan, Sam Hines, Cherry Jagan would have ever created in this country or produced? Let him name one. The PPP is known for creating or allowing to be in the midst these kinds of people, this caliber. They have within their nature thuggish mentalities, and that's what they're going to display all the time. So for me to read this, Mr. Benchop and viewers, I am highly upset, because this is one who represents us at the highest level in reference to the House of Assembly. He's a legislator, and he's coming to you as though he has nothing to do, but he doesn't have anything to do. Because the only time you can really hear from Phillips is when there is an attack of this nature in his mind, and he is apparently let out of a cage to say, go ahead and defend us now. Say we're not racist, or attack somebody. I thought this was Priya's job, but apparently Priya has been demoted. So now this is his portfolio.
That's all that he can do. And then at 5:25 this afternoon again, man, you can't take little criticism. Your skin really thin, man. Go there. But if I were to respond to him and say, go there, I understand his level of thinking, and I understand he's talking about bathing with blue water, whatever it is. He has Kwame McCoy right up under him, so we can just imagine what he is bathing with. Anyways, let's head back to this video. Enough of this guy. I hope he tells us what has happened to that 25 million US dollars. Missing 25 million US dollars, Mark Phillips. Talk about that, Mark Phillips. Tell us about that. Anyways, let's get back to this clip here, please.
Take responsibility. We want you to look out for us. We do not want no segregation. No. We are one people. And if we're going to do it, let's do it together. Because we have respect for you. Thank you.
Let's do it together because we have respect for you. We as in who? We, Doris, at the Hills? We as in who? Apostle?
Thank you. And I was going to speak to that because if we are going to do whatever she's speaking that we're going to do to Irfan Ali is supposed to be in her mind. This speaker, Doris, I think you said the person is. He's supposed to respond for achieving something in reference to what she's speaking. And if we are going to do it, we are going to do it together because we respect you. You respect Irfan Ali. Now, let me just present this to this individual. How are you applauding or causing to be applause to be raised for a man who faced, legally speaking, 19 fraud charges? They were never dismissed in a court of law. Shalimar Ali Haq discontinued the charges. He was never found to be innocent, neither guilty. They were said that there's enough evidence for him to have to answer to those charges for defrauding the state. And this woman is saying to this man, listen, we respect you. The man who said he doesn't want to appear weak, hence he allowed police officers and bulldozers to knock people's houses over and police to have an African woman in the mud in Mokarkadia. And he said he didn't want to appear weak. Hence he allowed those houses to be bulldozed and right there to be demolished. This woman is saying to Irfan Ali that she respects him. Do you respect someone who does this to your people? Do you respect someone who would have said or caused for there to be the closure of Charles Rose School of Nursing, where so many African young ladies have been put out, and young men, out. Not the school, as a matter of fact, the batch of nurses, that group. Y'all come out because too many of y'all from London leave. And now he's bringing nurses from Bangladesh and Cuba. Do you respect that? Do you respect a person who would cause himself or Jag, whoever to say that ExxonMobil should not be responsible for ensuring that if there's any oil spill, they pay for it to be cleaned up altogether? They have joined Jagdir, that is, to fight against us as Guyanese people. What is Doris really supporting here and respecting? And this individual is supposed to be a preacher. I'm happy that he's not a preacher of the Lord Yeshua HaMashiach. But these guys are opportunists, weaklings, and chickens. I would call them exactly what I see it to be. It's my right to speak as a human being. Because for this to be seen, the level of injustice that Guyanese have experienced at the hand of this cabal, where even economically we are oppressed, and I will speak, though you may not, Mr. Bench Chop, I cannot see one day or listen for one day an ad from the Pacific on your radio station. Never have I heard one. Never have I heard one at any time, even from a ministry. I haven't heard it. So if they can boycott and undermine your business because you don't support them, what is this woman really respecting? What is the man respecting? When are you going to tell me that a budget $1.143 trillion can be hanging over Guyana, and a Guyanese teacher or a nurse or a police officer cannot support 4 children and rent an apartment in this country without there being some degree of subsidy, maybe from the US, somebody sent the money for them? This is unfortunate. And I'm very, very upset and livid about the way that this New York visit went and what was being said. We support Ali. We who? What are you supporting? This is ridiculous, to say the least. And we cannot have this, I don't know if we use the word in here, this attitude of a prostitute. That kind of mentality. Whereby, okay, then do whatever you want to do to me, just give me something in my hand. As long as I get some benefit that's economic, fine. You can do whatever you want to do with me. Just give me, depends on the price, I'll do what you want. That's the kind of attitude I'm seeing among Guyanese people here, especially African descendants. Africa, unite. This is essential and critical. What they have done to Ipadaji, they have sought to defund, to destroy. What they wanted to do to the Guyana Teachers Union, they sought to destroy anything with a black face on it. And this woman is saying that she is in support of Irfan Ali, and she's entrusting Irfan Ali to do whatever it is together, when you cannot name one African contractor in this country who has a single contract to the tune of $2 billion. Not even one. Of all the hundreds of thousands of Africans we have in this country, you can't name a single one.
But yet they give it to someone who doesn't have the experience, someone who is basically unqualified. Look, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. Barbies, that big house by the bridge, Tech One. This is what's going on. And correct.
Sorry for interrupting you, but I am at my wit's end with the descendants of Africans, because a decade was given to us by the UN to focus on our issues. It is closing next year, and it doesn't seem as if some people have awakened yet to the reality of
but I've heard Jack Deere at a so-called, if he wants to call that a press conference, saying, we gave Ipadaji $500 million, as though we gave. It's taxpayers' money. Exactly. But they give other agency, whether it's CIOG, whether it's a Hindu organization, and nothing is wrong with giving organizations money. But they don't dictate to those organizations what they do with the money, how they spend the money, but they want to dictate to Ipadaji, hey, what y'all do with the money there? Eh? What sort of disrespect is that? But we can't talk. The minute we talk, we're racist.
Right.
Where do we go from here, though, to rebuild our country?
We have to go up, because I think that we're approaching our lowest of lows at this time. For the woman to actually say that you should be in jail, in solitary, not even jail, in solitary confinement for 20 years, that's as low as I think we can ever go.
You know, Apostle, I can understand her level of thinking. I can understand. I don't want to say what I really want to say, but I can really understand. I'll continue, please, Apostle.
All right, the image says it all. And for us to get to this stage as a people, where this is what we face, I cannot see us going lower than this, unless people begin to kill, which is not beyond many, obviously, but begin to execute voices, or continue, I should say, because they did it before, for a price. But the way from here has to be up. Up here first. We have to change how we see ourselves and how we think about ourselves, and what we believe about ourselves as a people and as a Guyanese people. We must understand clearly that our nation was never divided into two ethnic groups until the British recognized the power of doing so. Before there was a PNC and a PPP, we were one people. And Massa understood that if we could only create that division between these two people and support what is called the PNC and PPP, the whole narrative, then we control this nation. We have to change that now. We must be restored to a state whereby we understand. I will always tell you people, our enemies are those who are offshore and those who are above us onshore. We have to stand as a people and restore order to this country. The PPP, whether you like it or not, is a thuggish group, and Mark Phillips proved it today. They have no decorum, they have no class. And if Ali would be paid to be president, I can't expect the vice president to operate as though he's an intellectual, because Ali is an intellectual dwarf. Ali is an economic catastrophe, an academic catastrophe. He is not genetically equipped to process anything sensibly. So if Phillips wants to sit under that, whatever is on the head would fall on the shoulder. If I were Mark Phillips, I would flee from under Irfan Ali, because whatever's on the head would fall on the shoulder.
But flee from under Irfan Ali to where? To Jagdeo?
Not him.
No. Anyways, Apostle, people, we usually share out the award here on 107.1 FM. People have been, let me just, thank you, sir. Let's just see how many of you vote for Mark Phillips to get the award tonight. Let us hear, or let us read Donkey, 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 and we're ready to go. If you think that he should get the award, as we prepare to wrap up tonight's program, let us take it to a vote.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're voting. They're voting. They're voting.
Are you the arrow, the returning officer?
Yep, they're voting. They're voting in the ballot boxes. They're voting. So Mark Phillips, if you're watching, you know, we need for you to tell us what happened to that 24 million US dollars. They're watching. They're voting for you, Mark. I know you're watching. I know you're probably in tears right now, and you probably will text me later on. You will get this going once, and we will ask the apostle to come from 1 to 3.
I must cut. 1, 2, 3.
You know, people usually say, and take the one, Mark Phillips, take the one and go along your way. Keep eating the king's meat, keep being the puppet that you are, and keep sitting around those people who have no respect for you. You know, you did mention the fact that my radio station, 107.1 FM, has not received a single ad. They have boycotted me from day one. You think I care? I expected them to do that. They also do that to other businesses in Guyana who they feel do not support them. They do that to contractors and so forth. They boycott people's business every single time they're in office. For 20-something years, they boycotted people. People couldn't get a job in Guyana because of the PPP. They blacklist you. They do all manner of things. You can't leave the country. All manner of things they do to you. But yet they are concerned about people saying, spend your money where it is respected. Don't spend your money at businesses where they support the oppressors. People, it's a legitimate right for people to do that. But there was something else I wanted to bring to your attention. I don't know. I saw this here, Apostle. Jumbo Jet donates 2 fire tenders to the Guyana Fire Service. Billions of dollars. We got, what is it, a budget of trillions of dollars. And Jumbo Jet donates 2 fire tenders. If it is the same Jumbo Jet, I'm not sure that, I'm told, mind you, that this incident, I'm looking where some guys were beaten up, but we'll get to that some other time. How do you feel about billions of dollars going to the Guyana Police Force, the fire service, and so forth? And here it is, PPP businessman has donated these things. Please go ahead.
Thank you. And I'm in the process of preparing a special broadcast to address these matters. So I would, if you permit me, I would use this photograph as well.
Sure.
Go ahead. To build the evidence that I'm about to share. And maybe this is an introduction for the preview to the viewers. I'm preparing a broadcast to present to Guyanese evidence that this right here is only done by East Indian businessmen who support the PPP. So what does that tell you about our economic state as African descendants? How could it be yet again? I think the guy from SU Quebec, I can't remember his name, he presented the police force with something. Another group presented police force with cones and safety gear. Now here you have Jumbo Jet, another PPP Indian supporter, presents gifts again. Why are we not seeing this from African Guyanese? You know why? Because an African Guyanese businessman cannot afford to pay for $250,000 or so for a fire engine, because that's what they cost, $250,000 plus US dollars. So where do we get this kind of money from floating in our economy for this kind of business, it tells me exactly what I'll speak to, and it tells you what I'll speak to as Guyanese people. There is the effort being made to present us as African descendants as being unable to attain a particular status in life. And the reality has come to us now. So what do we do about it? Because Nigel, you were speaking to this a while ago. I've been speaking to this. You've been speaking to this. Too many voices have been speaking to this. And now the evidence is being more glaring. We have 0 African descendants who are able to do that in our country. It tells you everything you need to know. But yet they're not racist. They do not discriminate. They haven't set up means by which African descendants will not attain that status easily. But we're seeing the evidence coming forward today. And when did we have this window in our country for businessmen to present things to disciplined forces? When did that ever happen on a normal basis? Because you don't seem to understand what that does. So if there's an issue, can the police go and arrest Jumbo Jet owner? Because remember, he made donations now to Guyana Fire Service.
And not so long ago, under the coalition, not to cut you, there was a guy with a cache of weapons in his car. And he was driving and singing a song. We go have a good time tonight. Let it blow, blow, blow. And a bunch of guns in the car.
Yeah.
Jumbo Jet, we're told, allegedly Jumbo Jet. So Jumbo Jet is having a good time now. We go have a good time tonight. All right. So I hope those guys out in Brooklyn, they understand. Some of those promoters, we know who you are. We know what you're saying. Don't think we don't know what is happening there with a few of you guys and how you want to get a piece of the crumbs, and you whisper in Kush's ears, thinking that Kush is going to whisper in Irfan's ear, and then Irfan is going to talk to his friend back, like you ride a bike. What kind of bike? A dirt bike? And we know what is happening, guys. We know what is happening. And so as you go about in Brooklyn, be wise when you spend your money. Don't spend your money by people who embrace and support the oppressors. Before we go, I want to, isn't this ironic? Freddie Kissoon here. Freddie says, if there is a boycott of Mr. Erling restaurant, I will support it. But with one huge condition, the boycott must have context. And the context cannot be Erling's PPP candidacy. It has to be something else. But in 2012, he said something different. He said, during the 2012 campaign to explain the budget cuts, I spoke at Stabroek Square public meeting, where I suggested a boycott of German's restaurant. Freddie Kissoon, said, boycott German's restaurant. Boycott it. What is Freddie for saying that? You're smiling as we close off.
I find it funny because I don't think that these guys understand the power of a fact-finding generation. It is not like long ago we could say something and it was said on radio, so you can't have the evidence unless you go to GBC, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, to get the tape and somebody has to play it for you. Those days are over. Or you go to NCN and get the video and try to cut it. No, those days are over. Nowadays, what you say is stored in cyberspace forever. So when we have this kind of hypocrisy being demonstrated on a national level, and by extension internationally, it is just laughable and disgusting. Again, I say, how could Jagdio ask people or inform people in Port Moran to generate Facebook or social media accounts to attack or defend the PP against social activists? But when a social activist speaks against the PPP, everybody in that arena becomes a victim. It's just laughable. And your voice, one man says, boycott these people. And there's such a loud uproar. You are not even in Guyana. What makes your voice so powerful that it warrants even a response from the president, the man who's paid to be president? It tells me, therefore, that the PP is on very shaky ground. Because I thought that you were not supposed to have any power as far as I'm aware, Mr. Benchtrap, but it seems as if you have quite a bit more than I thought. Because I don't see how a president could sit in an office that we pay for and have to speak to you in a very subliminal manner because you said to boycott something. All he has to say, well, support the people. I think his voice should be louder than yours in reference to its weight, or heavier than yours. But it tells me that they are afraid of people because they know the power of a fact-finding generation. And I'm one who presents the facts.
Yeah. Apostle and all of our listeners, 14 minutes. Let me just show you guys. If they want to talk about racism, they just don't. Freddie Kissoon writes, opposition politicians use the suspected drug-related homicides of two African Guyanese youths at Cotton Tree and exclaimed, that Indians in that village killed them. Notice where Freddie's going. Those are the two Henry boys. Freddie Kissoon is now saying that the guys are now dead. Little boys, he's saying drug-related. Drug-related. What's going on with these guys? But yet, I hope those guys in Brooklyn are watching, they're listening, especially one and two of them promoters. We know who you are, promoters. I hope they're listening. You heard what Freddie just... There was an investigation in the matter. Nobody brought up drugs. Some guys came in from CARICOM to investigate. Nobody brought up drugs. But suddenly, Freddie Kissoon is bringing up drugs to link those little boys as drugs. They're killing, drugs related. Close off with that, please. Gosh, we can't say anything. We got to keep our mouth shut, right?
Couldn't speak. I'm racist. Like the woman did to you, Freddie's doing to the memory of these two young men, to say that even something as heinous as this, that would have shaken the fabric of our nation and also the diaspora. To know that a columnist would seek to go to this extent, to launch a defense and to some extent an attack against a political group like the PNC, it is painful for me as a Guyanese to witness the extent to which hypocrites can go. To do this, to defend whatever they may be receiving. I don't know what he receives, but maybe. Guyana, we have to become better by rejecting certain people from our society, because we cannot be better with certain people being among us. We must demand better from them, or they must not be allowed to function efficiently and as though everything is just merry and happy. Because to me, those two boys who were murdered should not have their names smeared to this extent by anybody, and the person just gets away with it. So maybe the boys' family can probably sue Freddie Kissoon, whatever they have to do, because this has to be addressed on a legal front and also societal front. Our people, we are one people, we are one nation, and we have one destiny as a Guyana, which is whatever we do to ourselves, our generations will reap that benefit in the future. For me, my generation must not reap the likes of Freddie Kissoon, Irfan Ali, Bar Jagdeo, and to some extent, weak members of the opposition. They must not inherit that. They must inherit the likes of those, like you, Mr. Benchop, and others who can stand and say, we would fight for the justice of our people. Even if we become enemies of our own people, we will still fight for the justice of our people. That is what Guyana should reflect, and that's the Guyana I hope to see.
Well said. And it wasn't too long ago, the same Freddie accused the PPP of being racist. He even went to court. I think Jagdeo took him for court for calling Jagdeo an ideological racist. Look at what's happening. Just for little crumbs, people, we hear some of those guys in Brooklyn, just for little crumbs. Look how people are selling their souls just for little crumbs. I don't know what's happening. Before we go, people are calling. People are saying that I should not have protected him. And where was it? Brickdam lockups, where Freddie cried like a little baby. Freddie cried and he cried and he cried. Mark. Freddie cried. He said a lot of things, man. He said he's done with the struggle. I said, why? He said he can't take it no more. I'm not kidding you, Apostle. But we've got to give this, whoever this individual is, got to get the award, got to get it, and they will. Lots of them will get it. Who wants to be presumptuous, you'll get it. Make some sense. All right, Apostle, as usual, I just want to thank you. I know they got the donkey even quiet. People say they got to turn their volumes down. Tonight happens to be, let's just say happy birthday, sitting watching us right here. Watching us right here. Right, look, he's on his phone watching us right here. We were told that it's somebody's birthday. Somebody's birthday, but yet they take the time out to watch us right here, right here. Anyways, look at this guy. Where is the 25 million US dollars, Mark Phillips? Where is the 25 million dollars US? You have time to text me. Text Kwame. Don't text me. Text Kwame McCoy. Since you want to talk about bathe with blue water, Kwame could bathe you with something, whatever that is. Apostle, sorry about that, man. I'm supposed to be behaving myself, but any other thing before we go? Feel free to, as you have the last word for tonight.
I'm grateful, and as always, it's a pleasure to be here. But our concern in India remains pretty grave. The bridge issue is becoming worse every day. We have Town Week starting tomorrow, and I would certainly be happy if you can allow your viewers to see what happens in Linden in reference to this bridge. We have 1 hour delays now, and with this Town Week, you can have as much as 2 hours to some people. It is going to be a catastrophe waiting to happen, because the PPP, who Hednessil refused blatantly to simply correct the middle span of that bridge. By the way, if 2 or 3 trucks laden with stone are on the Wisma Bridge, it rocks in different ways. That bridge is going to collapse if we don't take this in hand. And so there's a disaster waiting to happen in Linden, yet again, by a loving, or under the watch of a loving, caring government. Finally, I say to the people of this community that we are plagued by unkempt, unmaintained, poorly maintained schools, the extent that some of them are disasters waiting to happen. And the fire service went to a Tukade Primary School, of which I am the chairman, and they said that the school is unsafe. Fires were breaking out in the electrical outlets, and the children are still there under a caring, wonderful, loving government. The grade 3 classroom is a tiled environment. If it rains, the rain blows in the classroom, floods. My son sits in a pool of water, his feet in water, and has to do his work under a caring, loving government. I'm here to announce to you all that this must come to an end. And I'm grateful for this platform on which I have the chance to call for that to end. So thank you yet again. And I remain grateful for your company. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Apostle. People are admiring you, even riding your bike. Says you look like a champion cyclist. I haven't seen it, but I got to go get my bicycle. I still have my Big Ben. I'm going to go ride down Church Avenue, and so that those who haven't seen me in 23 years could get a chance to see me. I may go up and play some dominoes with them, but I'm not going to spend my money at certain places until those individuals apologize to the community. Simple as that. All right, Dr. Apostle Nigel, notice I'm evading your last name for now. I'll get it on the next stop. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it, and keep up the good work. Thank you. Yeah. Apostle London, Apostle. Oh, I'm back again, but Apostle here. Apostle, you like him. We'll get it. All right. So tonight happens to be the Klung's birthday, right? The Klung is celebrating. These guys do not care. Look, I want to talk to those folks out in Brooklyn. Those guys do not, Irfan and Jagdev and these guys, they do not like you. They just do not like you. They went into Brooklyn just for the photo op, nothing else, just to take a quick photo, and they're gone. That's about it. You see, they snap it. This is all Irfan was concerned about. Forget about what Jagdev is saying, that the PPP is the only multiracial party. No, you're right. It's the only racial party, possibly. And look at this, they don't like these folks. They don't like folks look like these guys. Look at what they have done to the vendors. Look at what they have done to those people. Look at the people they persecute every single day. Tomorrow, Kadaki has to go to court. I'm not even sure he's going to make it for his show. But then again, Kadaki's up early in the morning. If you're up early, go over and watch Kadaki. But for now, guess what? I'm out of here. Remember, I said today is his birthday. Today is his birthday, but he's busy watching us. He's busy watching us. They don't want us to speak out, and when we speak out, we are all sort of things. But for me, it's like throwing water on ducks' back. But if they want to up the ante, all of us, I encourage all the talk show hosts, all the Facebook hosts to up their ante in terms of speaking the truth. That's it. This is just a little that they're seeing, especially from me. If they want me to take it a notch up in terms of exposing them, then I will. Whether I expose them standing on Church Avenue, I will do so. For now, tomorrow is a busy day. It's supposed to be a nice day tomorrow. We will report back to you tomorrow evening why tomorrow is going to be a nice day in New York City. I'm out of here. God bless you all. Until then, keep your money in your pocket. Spend your money where they respect you. Where they respect you, not where they say we respect a dictator, a racist, or racist in the PPP regime. Save your money. Y'all know what I'm saying. Save your money. Good night to all of you. Tomorrow night we should have Wayne Caesar. Yeah, we should have Wayne Caesar. Hope this guy is going to text me. I find this to be a subtle threat. Subtle threat. I'm going to say this to Mark Phillips. This is a subtle threat. Do not, if people say, do not invade their space, do not text them, you need to stop or take your medication. Take your medication or stop or tell us what happened to that 12 million US dollars. Take your medication, Mark Phillips. Stop with the text. Text Kwame. It's the middle of the night. Y'all text each other. And if you want a bath, a blue water bath, Kwame's right there next to you. Y'all bathe. Wash down Mati, the blue water. I'm out of here. Janice Booker, my condolences. All of us here, condolences, Janice Booker, on the passing of her mother. Condolences. And if anybody else lost any loved one, condolences as well. If you're celebrating your birth anniversary, happy birthday, guys. Happy birthday to all of you, except one guy, except that one thing. We don't wish that thing a happy birthday. Let some of those folks in Brooklyn wish him, like a couple of those promoters. We'll talk to you guys a little more about that. But I'm out of here, guys. God bless you. Tata. Mark Phillips got to get this back again, right? He has to get it. So long.
Hey.